So when we were thinking of the Friday Night 360 AZ preview show and various concepts that we wanted to do, we wanted to highlight certain neighborhoods. And we have a segment called The Neighborhood Watch, and we've had some great guests on that. Ralph Amsden was focused on Chandler, Dave Zorn up north. We have Brandon Huffman, that was kind of a broad stroke of the national scope. But one area that we really wanted to focus on was the Southeast Valley. And this guy has been working his tail off, making his new site, County Line Preps. It's Andrew Luberda joining Jordan Ham and Haley Stasiak on the Friday Night 360 AZ preview show. Andy, first things first, just wanted to see how County Line Preps came to be.
Well, it was basically a necessity to start with. As most know, I was writing for a digital content site and just saw an opportunity to increase the coverage in the area and focus a lot more on sports than I had been under the other site, the company that I worked for. And of course, I spoke with Brad at Sports 360 and Eric and you as well, and saw an opportunity in an area where there wasn't a lot of coverage. It is far out there, but I live relatively close, and so just a lot of teams out there that I thought deserved some coverage, some good stories, and competitive teams as well. So I thought there'd be an interest. And so far, the feedback's been tremendous. The support I've received from, such Sports 360 and Ralph and a bunch of other people in the Chris Eaton in the high school sports realm have been so supportive. It's been so far so good. Really, really positive feedback.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty, Hamilton and Queen Creek this past Friday. Queen Creek took down Hamilton. What does this mean for the Bulldogs season and how it sets the tone for the rest of the season?
Well, obviously, they're a confident group. I mean, like Coach Sherman said to reporters over there Friday night, they went in there expecting to win, and they did. I think it gives them a tremendous confidence boost going into the rest of the season. I believe they thought, and he said this, Travis did, Coach Sherman, that they had a chance to win, that he believed and the kids believed they could win. But the fact that they actually went ahead and did it, I think, like I said, gives them a great amount of confidence going into the remainder of the season. I know they believed they had a pretty good offense. I personally believed that they had a chance to put 30 points on the board. Obviously, they exceeded that, but I think their offense is outstanding. And I think it really helps going forward. Obviously, the loss of Trey Johnson, hurts a little bit. But keep in mind, Dylan Bora was a starter, and he's still there, and he was a starter for a reason. So I think, while it's unfortunate what happened to Trey, and he was on the verge of really having an outstanding season, I think Dylan is more than capable. And, of course, Dante Coleman filled in after his injury. So I think even with the loss of Trey, I still think they remain confident.
Florence is a team that returns a ton of talent with Jared Wood and Nolan Sussel and plenty of other guys. What do you expect for the Gophers this season?
Well, I mean, they're going to put a ton of points on the board. Like you said, they have those guys and more returning, Shane Mathis, Shelton Mathis. I think Shane had a couple touchdown catches on Friday. They're definitely going to put points on the board. I know Coach Howard told me that the defense was solid, even though they gave up 35 on Friday. But, I think they can score 40 points every week if they don't, shoot themselves in the foot. And even if their defense, isn't limiting teams to 21 points a game, I definitely think they can score at least that or more. So I think it's a matter of Florence just can be able to score people, and can their opponents keep up. I don't know that anybody's going to have great success stopping them offensively for the reasons that you said, the players they have, and they have a ton of seniors, right? So I think that makes a difference as well when you're talking about, so many seniors on one side or the other of the ball. It's going to be hard for them to stop offensively.
Santana Foothills is 2-0. What is it that we should be keeping an eye on with this team?
Well, they have a sophomore quarterback, but I think the thing that I've been most impressed with in following them the last couple weeks, they've scored 94 points in 2 games. I think this Friday against Gilbert Christian, I know a lot of the players in their team are pointing it to as their game of the year, so I think we're going to get a really good read on really how good both those teams are. But in Santana's Foothills case, they've got a few players that have been around for a while. I think sophomore Amari Bailey was, a starter as a freshman on the varsity level, and he's that much more improved as a sophomore. But they're disciplined. I think they've always had talent the last couple of years. I think they've had some coaching changes, but they've always had some talented players. And now Coach De La Torre's there, and he really focuses on a discipline. And he told me that, talent isn't the only thing that wins games. He's teaching the kids to be accountable and responsible, and if they do that Monday through Thursday, then they're going to get to celebrate on Fridays at games, and that's really what he's preaching. And obviously, it's working. 47 points. Although Friday's game, I think Manny Farms ran out of players and called it quits in the third quarter. But still, I think they had 42 points on at halftime. They're really explosive offensively, even with the sophomore quarterback. But we'll find out more about them for sure on Friday against Gilbert Christian.
Awesome stuff, Andy. We appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, that was Andy Luberda from County Line Preps. Some really good stuff. Like we said, this is kind of an undercovered area of the state, but there's a lot of really talented football teams in multiple divisions in this area.
There is, and I was out at that Queen Creek Hamilton game on Friday, and the talent at Queen Creek, the drive, they've had some adversity. You can just tell they really wanted that game, and they went out and got it.
So coming up, we are going to preview our Week 2 games, have a lot of really good matchups to take a look at, so stay here on the Friday Night 360 AZ preview show.